And we're on. Here we go. Welcome to the Bulls Forever post-game show, playoff post-game show. This is Mike Sykes here with Jake Whitaker. And the Wizards have won their fifth straight playoff game and their fourth straight away playoff game on the. I don't even know how to say that stat. I can't comprehend it.
I've been trying to figure that out too. If there's a road game to start a playoff series, the Wizards win it.
Right, exactly. There we go. That's the simple way to put it. So I mean, these guys, they keep on. They just keep it churning, keep the butter churning, and now we're here. We're here. I don't know how they won today, honestly. Go ahead.
Sunday afternoon games, man. Anything can happen.
But normally the Wizards are terrible in this spot, right? Like they're always just flat, and they shoot terribly, and they turn the ball over, and they get blown out by like the Celtics in Boston or something like that. But now we're beating the 60-win Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta on a Sunday afternoon. I mean, this team is insane, pretty much. Go ahead.
Well, did you see what J. Michael said about Nene in Sunday afternoon games?
No, what happened?
Let me find it here. But basically, he was just saying, I think like a month ago, Nene said something about how he's not a fan of afternoon games at all. And this was like early in the game before, it.
Whoa, are you still there? Okay, I think Jake froze, so I'm not sure what Jake was getting into, but apparently Nene is not a fan of Sunday afternoon games, which I don't think many people are, but okay, that's fine. He didn't play much today, and the Wizards weren't hurt by it, but they still managed to take the game without a great showing from Nene. Jake, you back?
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
There we go.
The airplane mode button. That'll get you every time.
Every time. But what were you saying about Nene though?
Yeah, J. Michael tweeted something out. I'm gonna pull it up here. Just for the sake of commentary here.
So just the basic point is that he just doesn't like Sunday afternoon games for whatever reason.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And basically, he just not a fan. And having
that's kind of weird. Oh, boom.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
I don't know what's going on. But as one who has dealt with kids as of late, I can empathize with the whole it takes a lot longer to wake up when you got an infant. So I'm blaming that on part of it. I'm blaming two infant children on Nene's performance, which sounds like a terrible angle, but I'm going to roll with it. But it's hard, it takes you longer to get in gear, and maybe that was what was up with Nene today. I know the Hawks in general present a bad matchup, but that was just worse than worst case scenario today, and I don't think it'll be that bad going forward.
Yeah, he was an absolute zero for them today. Didn't really provide anything defensively. Didn't make a shot. Turned the ball over twice. He only played. What did he play? Like 17 minutes.
17 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Especially for, I guess, their most versatile defensive big man. Right. They really need him this series. I think you and Mike talked about it after we destroyed the Raptors. Nene he's their best. How can I put this? He's the best big man they have when it comes to defending guards on the ball. And with Atlanta, that can be really important when, you have 5 guys out at any time that can shoot the ball from distance. So I don't know. They didn't switch too much today. When they did, it was pretty terrible. But
Right.
if they can get a good Nene in this series, that would be a plus. But we won the game despite Nene being terrible.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, for as bad as Nene was, you probably couldn't have gotten a much better game out of Drew Gooden to balance it out. He had 12 and 5 in 14 minutes. And that's unheard of. Yeah, that's peak Drew Gooden.
2 of 5 from 3.
Yeah. I mean, just let him go, man.
Yeah, I feel like there's a theme here where if you play, I don't think Gortat and Nene should be on the floor at the same time in this series. And I think this is a pretty popular opinion. But if you play Pierce and you play Gooden, one of the two, and you get Porter out there, or you run that 3-guard lineup out there, I think the results are normally good.
Right.
I don't really have a stat to back that up right now, but
just the first half in general, I think, kind of supports that. But I mean, to his credit, Whitman pulled the quick hook on it.
Yeah.
Especially second half. Once that first stint was over, he's just like, that's it. I don't have time to keep Nene happy right now. We just gotta roll with what's cooking.
Yeah, I feel like he coached pretty well today.
Yeah. I mean, playoff Randy mythology aside, I mean, rotations were on point. He made the right adjustments, even when it was really bad and it seemed like the Hawks were out to a much bigger lead. He kept them in it, and I think Beal especially, he had getting to the line. I think that was a big part of it, and I don't know if that's. I don't know how much of that credit to give to Randy for Beal just going for it, or if that's just Beal like, well, it's the playoffs now. I can kind of give up my body more to make plays, but it worked.
I think it's probably a little bit of both. Normally, with a lot of things, there's a gray area there, and I don't know. It seemed like when Wall first went down with the wrist injury, I guess it's a wrist sprain now. I think that's when he actually pulled. Didn't he pull Nene like shortly after or before that?
That sounds about right.
And then he puts in Gooden and Sessions, and he leaves Beal out there with I think it was what was it, Beal, Sessions, Gooden, Nene, and I want to say Porter, and they just lit it up. They lit it up, and I felt like that was the real turning point in the game. Like the Wizards didn't claw back at that point, but I felt like the game had a chance to get really out of hand at that moment.
Right.
And he made the adjustments to keep the Wizards in the game, and I thought that was a really good call. Now you do have moments where, like when Gooden got his 4th foul and he throws Seraphin out there, who hasn't seen a lot of time in the playoffs this year. I mean, Seraphin was Seraphin today, but I still feel like just that decision alone doesn't take away all the good that Whitman did today. And it feels really weird saying that because I've been complaining about him all year, but you have to give him credit here.
Yeah, I think more and more if you give Whitman the luxury of knowing he's going to have a day or two of rest off and he can kind of ride his guys more, he can make it work. And so, once the NBA gets rid of all the back-to-backs, Wizards probably going to go 82-0. They're just gonna roll it. Just gonna. That's it. Adam Silver is just making all the rule changes the Wizards need to run the league.
Yeah, wait until they do conference realignment.
So, shout out Adam Silver.
When the Wizards are going to be all the West teams and just run through them. I mean, what is Golden State's destroying the Grizzlies right now? But, I mean, if they play the Wizards in the finals, who's to say that the Wizards won't win by 20 every game?
Right. I mean, the question you have to ask when you get to the Wizards-Warriors NBA Finals is, does the Oracle home court advantage outweigh playoff Randy on the road? I mean, that's your series right there.
I think the question for everyone right now should be, does anything outweigh playoff Randy on the road? Because he's just –
record speaks for itself, man.
He's great right now. He's great. So moving on.
Let's move on.
I think Twitter is kind of exploding right now about this uncontested shot stat for Atlanta. Atlanta took 53 uncontested shots according to NBA.com's player tracking stats, and an uncontested shot is defined as a shot where a shooter does not have a defender within 3.5 feet of his vicinity. And Atlanta had 53 of those shots. The Wizards, on the other hand, had 48. Atlanta only made 15 of those 53 shots, and the Wizards made 22. 28% uncontested shots. That doesn't feel like something that'll last. Obviously, it doesn't matter at this point because that's not going to win them the game at this point because the game's over. And the Wizards won, but you can't. I don't think you can't win a series playing like that and allowing those type of open looks to this Hawks team with so many deadly shooters. And we saw it in the first half. I mean, they really lit it up from three in the first half, and they just go on runs, run after run after run. You can counter with the run, but they'll come with one right back. I mean, I don't feel like this will continue. I don't think they'll keep getting these uncontested shots, but that does worry me a bit. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect Atlanta to shoot that badly game to game, but at the same time, in a 7-game series like this, if you could pick one game for them to have their uncontested shots not fall, you'd want it to be game one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even though the contested will kind of correct itself, as the series goes along, at the same time, I do think those uncontested shots will dry up just opportunity-wise, and I think that might kind of counteract it enough that the Wizards can get away with it.
Yeah, I think the Wizards did a similar thing in Game 1 against Toronto where they had a bunch of uncontested shots. I don't remember the exact stat, but I know they missed a lot of them. Like John Wall had like 24 of his passing attempts were going to guys who had uncontested shots, and I think they only made like 7 or something like that. So I mean, it's it's chance sometimes. It's a make or miss league, but it is what it is, and they miss those shots. I don't think we can say that if they made them, the game would have been completely different. Because I can't really say how many they would have made of that, because obviously they're not going to make every uncontested shot, but
yeah, that's something we'll have to probably dig into a little bit more, like just to compare their regular season uncontested average. But yeah, the big culprit oddly was Al Horford. I'm pulling it up now. He was 1 for 9 uncontested, and then Korver was 1 for 6, which you don't think Korver ever misses uncontested, but he had a few of them. But I want to say a couple of those were kind of, even when they were uncontested, they were kind of broken plays.
Right.
And, I think, if you have a broken play uncontested three, it's not always the same as
an
uncontested three in the flow. Yeah.
Right.
So
I think that's a really good point.
Right. And when you talk about playing out of rhythm, that's Wizards basketball. Which I know kind of sounds like I'm throwing shade there, but I mean that's really what it is. They're not gonna, always destroy you with turnovers, but they can kind of just rough you up enough to kind of make you think you're shooting what you want, but you're really not.
Yeah, the Wizards.
And that's
they make teams unable to.
The dance. Analytical decoy.
I had to throw that in there. I'll let myself out.
Right now. Right.
No, but that is a really good point that you just made, and I think they 38 of their shots were 3-point attempts. I know shooting threes is a great thing in today's NBA, and like that's one of the most valuable shots, like a top 3 valuable shot in the game. That, a rim shot, and a free throw, those are great, but I don't know if you can shoot 38 threes in a game, especially when the game is. It's physical. There's not a real rhythm to it. I don't think that all of those threes were probably good looks. And I think Hubie Brown was talking about it during the broadcast. They took a lot of early clock threes and a lot of early clock jumps.
Yeah.
And I thought they chased that Paul Pierce and Paul Millsap isolation a little bit more than they really should have. But it just seemed like they just got out of their stuff, the stuff that they destroyed the Wizards with in the regular season, and that I think that hurt them more than anything else today.
Yeah, I think it's an easy trap to kind of get lulled into we have size advantage down low, let's just pound it inside. And just because you have size doesn't always necessarily make your big men score better. And Millsap, I think, let me pull up his numbers here. I think he was 6 for 17 today.
Yeah, with 15 points.
I mean, like Millsap did a lot of good things, a lot of things I'm worried. They definitely did try, I think, to put a little too much through him. And, and especially with a team like the Hawks, when their whole identity is, equal opportunity, and then all of a sudden you're trying to exploit one specific matchup. That it goes back to Wizards basketball, take them out of rhythm. And if you have to throw a little guy on Millsap to make them think they have an advantage, if it works, it works.
Yeah, I also I thought another thing that really hurt them were the offensive rebounds that they allowed for the Wizards. I think the Wizards had, let me pull it up, they had 15 offensive rebounds today, and they had 25 second chance points off of those. Like, Atlanta's really, really good in transition, so that's kind of a dangerous game to play when you're staying and you're trying to fight for offensive rebounds. But it was a gamble that ended up working out for the Wizards today. Does that concern you at all going forward, or are you comfortable with them fighting for that rebound advantage?
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky line to walk, because I know I've seen other people kind of talk about it, but it's basically if you go small and kind of give up some of your rebounding, that helps the Wizards offense, helps the spacing and everything, but then you basically can't exploit Atlanta's best advantage, which is, their biggest disadvantage, which is rebounding. And so I think that's going to be the real chess match of the series. And, it worked out today. But, there is kind of that worry that, you're not always going to be able to get away with what they got away with today, especially on the glass.
It's crazy because I think a lot of that had to do with the guards and the way that they were rebounding. Because Wall had 7 rebounds today. and 4 of them were offensive rebounds. Beal had 2 offensive rebounds, and Porter had 1. But I mean, that's pretty big though. Like that's not a huge number. That's only 7 between those 3, and 6 between their backcourt. But those are really important possessions.
Yeah. Otto had 11 total rebounds today.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a career high.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he had a few at 11. Man. I mean, for all the talk about him being too skinny, I mean, he gets it done, man.
He does, man.
Skinny is the new inefficiency in the NBA. That's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to that actually, like because when you look at how lengthy he is, though, it makes it a lot easier for even if you're skinny, even if you're boxed out, you can still kind of go up and just grab the rebound. You can poke the ball out and just cause a scramble for it, and those are the small plays that make a lot of like that. That's a huge difference. They matter, especially in the playoffs where every possession counts. I think that's really important. He did a bunch of that today.
Yeah.
And he did it in the Raptors series. And I really I'm really positive about Otto Porter. Not only right now in the playoffs, but going forward in the future. I really think that he can turn into like this hybrid 3-4 guy that eventually is a really impactful player for this team.
Yeah. Seeing him in the last 2 series, you see where he it seems like a lot to invest a 3rd pick in him, but you see how he's the perfect guy to kind of bridge the gap between your pick and roll center with Gortat and your guards that need to use up a lot of your usage. And he just fits that perfect slot to kind of fill all the gaps. And so, yeah, I mean, people are always going to say, oh, well, you could have had Noel and yeah, you could have, and that'll hurt. But Otto fits, and I'm happy with Otto fitting.
Yeah, I think if Porter, hindsight is always 20/20, and that's always going to be a thing. But like when you think about it, this is the Porter that they thought they were drafting, and they had a lot of setbacks with him. He was injured, and then he came into the season late, missed the entire training camp. It's hard to bring a guy along, especially a rookie like that, and when he doesn't have the Swedish jump shot. I mean, it's hard to fit him in alongside guards who are driving kick guards for the most part, or are supposed to be anyway. So I mean, you can say that they could have had Alex Lynn or Nerlens Noel. I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. But if Porter continues to play like this, I have absolutely no problem with that pick. No problem at all.
Oh yeah, no, me either. Yeah, I mean it's just trying to think of the right way to put this. I mean, I don't think they ever could have planned for Noel to fall the way he did, and at that point, you got to stick with what you know. And they knew Otto would be a good fit. The first year really didn't work out because his whole core is being an IQ player, and then you can't put him through training camp. It's not going to work.
Right.
And so he got he had his rookie year this season, and he's ready to go. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Did you? Let me ask you this: How far did your heart drop when Wall got hurt, and then when Beal got hurt later in the game? Like, did your stomach just turn inside out and everything? Like, because mine totally did.
Yeah, I was just like, well, this has been a great ride. We're going to talk about Wall's wrist for the next 6 weeks.
You buried us.
Yeah, it was just, the Seinfeld gif where he just kind of, throws his hands up and walks out. That's my go-to lately. And that was the most like that I've ever felt since I've found it. So I just keep going back to it, but that's how I felt. It was just like, well, it's been a good run. We'll always wonder what if, but then he comes right back in,
It's the
and
perfect
so
gift.
yeah, and clearly, Beal and Pierce. I mean Beal and Wall have just gotten their masters in from the Paul Pierce Wheelchair Academy, and they're set. So.
I mean, I did not expect either of those guys to come back into the game. I really
No.
didn't.
No.
Wall was like laying there, gripping his wrist, just rolling around. And I'm just thinking, like, oh my goodness, this is the Bradley Beal. This is the broken wrist injury. Like he has a fracture. There's some type of fracture there. And then Beal's just like, he's walking back in the locker room. He's got tears in his eyes. I'm just like,
yeah,
these guys, man, they're not. That's not okay. Like you can't tug my heartstrings like that, man.
No, and then like Beal, it seems like every time he injures his ankle, it's like, well, there's a week.
Right.
And so, but I guess when you're going to be that good in the playoffs, you can take a week off in the regular season, but once it's playoff time, well, it's like I don't know if you saw the tweet from Network. They should just rub a picture of Chris Paul on his leg and run it back out there. So
Chris Paul, he did that really well yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He did that really well.
Well, respect that he can still like do the fast break, grabbing his hamstring. That was
crazy, right?
That was like Greg Jennings kind of stuff right there. So,
he's continuing to dribble while he's like just about to fall.
Chris, you want to come out? No, I'll finish this one out.
I'm okay.
Man.
I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
Yeah.
No, but do you feel like they both play in the next game? Because John Wall says they do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could see like tomorrow they both kind of like duck out of practice and then everyone panics for a minute, but they'll be good. They'll be good for Tuesday. I'd be more worried about Beal than Wall, just because ankle messes up your shooting form more than. Well, I worry more about Beal's ankle hurting his shooting form more than Wall's wrist hurting his shooting form.
Yeah, especially since it's his left wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, it might just kind of readjust where he holds the ball, which, I mean, based on the way he shot in the second half, maybe he should, injure it more often. Just going to throw that out there.
Just grab a hammer, John Wall.
Just take it for the team, John. But,
actually,
I could see like
going into the second half about Wall, like because that last play of the half where he turned the ball over, I'm like, can he dribble with that thing? Like, it just looked bad. And then at the end of the game, I thought it looked kind of swollen. Maybe that's just me, just being like, that really worried guy right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Got to protect your people, and when they're limping out there, it's. Yeah, I watched that last possession. I'm just like, I could just see him, second half, like Lisa Salters comes on and goes, well, they're going to go with Ramon now. And then it's like, well, we had a good run. So, but yeah, for as much grief as the Wizards training staff got back in the day, I mean, they've been getting the job done too.
Yeah, they really have. They really have. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like they were really bad for a stretch, it seemed like. And now like John Wall's playing 82 games. He didn't play that this year, but he could have.
Right.
Gortat's playing 82.
Yeah, I don't think there's been an injury this season that's stretched out beyond the prognosis other than Martell Webster, but that's the whole. But I think that was more. They had the luxury to take their time with him, so they did.
Right.
So. So how about that? A Martell Webster reference. Game 1. We got it. We got it
He's
in there.
He's a great rapper, though. He's a great rapper. Like, I really enjoy that. This is not like me throwing shade or anything at him, but I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, we are very pro Martell Webster on Bullets Forever. Always have been, always will be. And not just because not even just because he let us do that thing with him, but he's just always been a cool dude.
Yeah.
And he'll always be cool in my book.
It would be nice if he hit 3, though. Yeah,
it would be nice.
I mean, we can't really complain because Porter's playing pretty well now.
Right.
So
he stood the gap for Porter. Now Porter's ready to take over, and Porter will stand the gap for KD. Hit all the checklists.
You did.
Got them all done. I did it.
Okay.
Got them all in there.
So what'd you think of their offense today? Like they had a 111 offensive rating today, which is pretty good, especially by Wizard standards. That's actually really good. They shot 41% from the floor though, and also took 25 threes again. Like we're continuing to see this whole transformation from them. Going from a team that doesn't really take a lot of threes because they don't have a lot of shooters. That was the thing earlier on in the season, and now apparently they got all the shooters because they're taking all the threes.
Yeah, but I was really surprised, especially with Beal getting to the line there. I know the reffing seemed to kind of. I don't know if it favored one side or the other. I'm not normally the best at judging that, but it seemed very inconsistent, if nothing else. I don't want to, say, one side got jobbed, but
it was weird.
It seemed a little scattered. But, if players can have rough 1 p.m. games, then so can refs.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like, if had the Wizards lost, like we shouldn't go blaming the refs for anything.
No,
like that's not
right.
It's not in their hands at this point.
No,
shouldn't really. It's not a ref job or anything. But I mean, credit to Bradley Beal for getting to the line as much as he did today. The Wizards also, they took 22 free throws and made 86% of them. That's not a Wizards thing. It never has been really. And
right.
So it's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, but I think part of that might be that Nene wasn't getting to the line a lot.
Yeah.
And he kind of submarines some of that sometimes because he's good at drawing fouls, but not always capitalizing on it. So,
right.
I think that kind of helped the old free throw numbers today. But yeah, credit to the Wizards. Normally, because their offense was rough, but at least they were bailing themselves out, which wasn't something they did a whole lot in the regular season, but they seem to be kind of gritting it out a little bit more when things slow down instead of just hitting that 17-footer.
Yeah, like I really think they did a really good job of not just settling for those jump shots until maybe the end of the clock, the end of the shot clock, rather when there's like a sub-second shot, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's when they were starting to take those shots. And I thought that especially Beal, like they did a really good job of coming off of screens and like they go back toward the middle of the floor and that's how they position themselves to get into the lane and draw that free throw. Like, and Gortat did a great job setting screens today. And that just gave Beal and Wall all the space they needed to come down and just get back into the middle of the floor and make those decisions. Gortat played a really good game today. I think he was really underrated today. It wasn't like a 24, 13, and 5 game from him today. But he still played really well. He had 12 rebounds, 12 points, 2 assists. Like I have no complaints about the way that Gortat played today. And he was really good defensively too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like when the Hawks could ISO him up, he had some issues. There was that one Horford dunk, and there was one time they caught him on a switch, and Teague just kind of backed it out, or maybe Schroeder, and just kind of backed him up and said, "Let's dance." But yeah, all in all, definitely more pluses and minuses, which I wasn't expecting because I know we talked with Mike about it, and he's not going to get the same pick and roll looks against Atlanta that he did against Toronto, but yeah, he went in, he knew he wasn't going to get that, and he adjusted and had a pretty solid game. So
I actually thought that he and Wall they connected pretty well with that short lob play. Like they'll do a side pick and roll kind of close to the rim, close to the free throw line, and then like Wall they'll try to down Wall toward the baseline or toward the corner to try to kind of trap him and force him into a turnover. But he did a really good job of getting go top that ball. I thought they missed on that shot a bit often, but toward the end of the game, it really started to work. And let me just say, I have no clue how Wall gets some of these passes off. Like, I think it was that last one to Porter to kind of put them up 4. I think it was with like less than 30 seconds left. Like he jumped in the air, and was like wiggling, and then he just like Porter on the rim. I'm like, how?
No, I know it. Wall and Teague were both just kind of wilding out a little bit today. Teague got kind of slowed down there, after he got roughed up. But I mean, it's going to be fun watching them go at it. But if Teague's going to have to play better than that if Atlanta has any shot, because like we know Wall's the best player on the floor, and if the gap is that wide, that's going to be hard for Atlanta.
Yeah, it definitely will. I don't know, like you say, Wall is probably the best player on the floor in this series, but I feel like the combination of T and Schroeder could kind of counteract that a little bit, just collectively. Right. I think they have a really good point guard core, so. Right. I don't know, but like if Wall plays the way he did today, like I think the Wizards are pretty good. Like he started off really well with that dunk, that surprise dunk. Like it was that was crazy. Like I think at that point I knew we were in for a pretty good John Wall game.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lost my train of thought there, but yeah, he just it as weird as it was there at the start, Wall was ready. And, the shooting numbers aren't spectacular, but he got where he wanted to. And, only had those 2 turnovers, nearly had a triple-double. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Now I think we're at the part of the show where we talk about if the Wizards make the conference finals, how could KD ever say no? Like, how?
Right. Well, I think what would be worrisome is if they got to the finals and won, with Road Warrior Randy Whitman. Then you have to worry if KD doesn't want to come, because then he can't fill the messianic role coming back home. Because if like John Wall's already taken that spot, he'd be better off like going to, but he'd be better off staying in Oklahoma City and just being Oklahoma's chosen son. So
I think that's a good point, but
I mean, as we've seen with the KD translator, he's not the good-natured young boy. Well, young boy. He's not the humble, good-natured young man we expect him to be. He's kind of a jerk. So, if he can't be the man leading the District of Columbia to an NBA title, I don't think he wants in.
So what you're saying right now is that we should just tank. We should just tank for KD. Just do it. I mean, it worked for Cleveland, right? Like they sucked and then they walked into LeBron James.
Exactly. But then you have to ask yourself, if Cleveland's doing it, is it the best way? And the answer is probably no. You know, like, have you ever said, "Oh, that's a great idea coming out of Cleveland"? Ever?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever said that.
Just some really smart stuff coming out of Cleveland, Ohio, right now. Although, you know what? If we're gonna be serious for half a second, the one dude from Moneyball that Jonah Hill played, he was from Cleveland.
He's from Cleveland. He is from Cleveland.
Yeah. He poached him from the Indians. So there you go.
Jonah Hill did a really good job with that role, though.
Yeah, he did.
Surprised.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great movie. I still can't get my wife to watch it. I can't get her to buy into the concept of, this is about guys that made baseball smarter. Do you want to watch this movie? She's like,
no.
I tried.
Keep trying, man.
I got to pick my battles, it's like, get her to watch Moneyball, do the post-game show. It's like the post-game show.
I hear you, dude. Okay, so I think we pretty much covered everything with the game. I think we did.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think we've mentioned Paul Pierce though.
Paul Pierce is just great. He's just great.
He's just the presence. He's there. He's going to do Paul Pierce things, and that's Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce could probably run for mayor in DC at this point, I think.
Well, he's king of Toronto, though. I don't know if they'll let him control 2 municipalities at once, and he still probably owns the key to Boston. Banned from Brooklyn, though. They won't let him back in.
Like, that's pretty interesting. You would think that if there was a place that wanted Paul Pierce, it would be Brooklyn, but
right.
They hate him. So
they just but you know what? That's Brooklyn's lost.
Yeah.
So
Darren Williams isn't a franchise player anymore, so
yeah. Shout out Markel Brown.
Bradley Beal hates you.
Yes. Markel Brown. Like if someone went back to Bradley Beal right now, like, remember when Markel Brown really just channeled your Hulk mode? He'd probably go, "Who's Markel Brown?" And, it's just like when you're in a rage, you don't remember anything. That's what I like. He and there's Angry Beal right now coming through the door. Beal and Nene just have that, if you get them to that point, they just become totally different people.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, for better or worse. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that with some players, but I really didn't expect it out of Beal.
Yeah. And especially if you compare his social media to, he's just posting pictures with his girlfriend, "Oh, I love you so much," and then he goes and wants to murder Kyle Lowry on the court, and it's just who is this guy?
It's crazy.
Beal's got a little bit of KD in him, Looks like he's a nice, innocent guy, and then he'll cut you.
But that's not if KD leaves, we don't want Beal to have that in him.
Well,
I don't think.
They can feed off each other, kind of like Iron Man and Hulk.
So you went to see the Avengers at some point?
No, I didn't.
You did?
I didn't. I'm just assuming this off the trailer and just their general disposition. I want to see it, but the dad budget not allowing for opening week viewing of that. So
I saw it, but I won't tell you about it though.
Okay. Okay.
It's great.
Better, worse than the first, or just different?
It's better. It's better.
Really?
It's better.
Okay. 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 That's always nice when the sequel lives up to the hype. Just like the Wizards in round 2.
Boom.
Boom.
There we go.
There it is.
That's how you bring it full circle. Right?
Yes.
So let's just stop now before we dig ourselves and even
exactly.
deeper hole.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so Wizards won game 1 again.
Yes.
We will play again on Tuesday night at 8, I think. So we will see you there, and hopefully I will think of a better, catchier title for the post-game hangout, because this one kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's not bad. It's just we can't use Drake jokes now.
Yeah, it was so easy to do that, and I'm sitting thinking, like, let me do something with 2 Chainz. Let me just find some Atlanta rapper, but it just didn't work out. So.
Yeah, there's too many good Atlanta rappers that we just can't disrespect.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna throw shade at Outkast or Ludacris or something. We can't do that.
I just thought of one. You did that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, message me that and we'll get it ready for game 2.
All right, great.
Sounds good, man.